When we're in the story finding process for our first HIKI NŌ package, we didn't know what we wanted. All we knew was there were so many stories done on athletes or the school, and it was oversaturated. We wanted to try and like expand and do something different. So when we were story finding, we had a lot of great stories and different ideas, but when we heard of Jacob's story, it really stood out because it's something that not everyone experiences, but I think on a certain level people can connect to that. It was a real life story which we thought was very impactful because we were to tell the story of a teenage father and how he manages the situation.
The biggest struggle in my life was probably adapting to, being a new father and having someone depend on me. Being, a senior in high school and having to break away from my friends so I could get a full-time job to pay for my son and everything I need and to live here on my own.
When we were working with HIKI NŌ, it was like taking it to the next level. We were able to connect with industry professionals, and we were able to get notes from them, and it was a lot of revisions. It was more than I was used to. Just getting back and forth comments on, hey, fix this, adjust this, and then I think I even had to go back and reshoot.
Do I want to quit my job? Every day. Every day. But do I want to quit being a father and a provider? No. It's a great feeling. It's probably the best feeling I've ever had, The happiest day of my life was the day Sean was born, It's my son, so it's an amazing thing. So that was actually definitely the greatest day of my life.
Growing up, I was always around media. My dad did commercial work and a lot of news stories for the Vietnamese community. So I was always around, cameras and editing and all that. So I fell in love with media. And then throughout the years, I also developed a passion for medicine. So even in high school and through college, I studied to be a doctor. But at the same time, I still continue my craft in media. And at one point, it was really hard to juggle both the media side of things and then trying to like study for med school and all that. So I kind of had an epiphany moment and was like, hey, you can't do two things. You just got to pick one and focus on it. So in 2016, I did a show and we won an Emmy. And I think after that, I was just like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm in love with. And this is what I want to continue for the rest of my life. So 2016, I went full on, committed to owning my own business and doing filmmaking and creative services full time. So and I don't regret anything, and it's been amazing since. After we started the company, our work was noticed by a lot of people, and so we were able to work with Hawaiian Airlines, First Hawaiian Bank, Servco, just to name a few. So broken down to like the most basic thing, I'm a storyteller at heart, and being able to, started in high school, broadcast journalism, I found my passion for storytelling, and through, these stories and these packages, and it's nice to be able to do that at as a career.
Thursday night at 7:30 on PBS Hawaiʻi.